What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna have an interesting discussion because I'm gonna bring you the top 5 projects in which I would invest right now if I was looking to make the safest 10x that I could possibly make in crypto right now. Not everyone that is in crypto is looking to make those 100x's, 1000x's. If you especially count with a very high 6-figure portfolio, already in the millions for that matter, you probably want to preserve the wealth because it's not just about making the money, but it's also about preserving the money and slowly incrementing it. I always say that somebody that has a low 4-figure portfolio, let's say the 1 or 2K, will have to take crazy risks investing into this multiple 100x's project as a default for the majority of their portfolio. But if you're in close to 1 million or above, you probably don't have to take those same risks of the first person. And regardless, even if you're in the 5 figures and early 6 figures, you still need a certain percentage of your portfolio that is allocated to safety net picks, which could literally be the 5 picks that I'm bringing you today. Because if any of the picks that are very high risk, multiple 100x's go bust, then you're essentially gonna make the profits back with these low risk picks. The size of your safety net is gonna vary based on your budget, based on your risk aversion, based on a variety of factors that I've already discussed in plenty of videos and extensively in my Patreon, but this is a good place to start for the 5 low risk picks for 10x plus. So without any further ado, I'm actually gonna get started. So the first one is gonna be Kaspa. You guys know that Kaspa is one of the biggest allocations of my portfolio right now. Do I think that it can do more than 10x? Sure. I do think that we could go maybe towards the $2 range and potentially even to the $4 to $5, although that is way harder. But I think that it's a no-brainer to me that we're gonna go to the $1, and 1.5 and 2 seems quite realistic to me, which will still put it, let's say if we go to $1.4, essentially we're gonna be a 10x from now. That is quite realistic to me, so I do think that Kaspa is still gonna be a relatively easy 10x. Now, am I telling you to buy right now at the very top? We are very close to the all-time high. In the last week, we actually pumped 37%, which is definitely a big increase because we were for a very long time actually below the 10 cents or just around the 10 cents mark, and now we started skyrocketing. The fear and greed index has definitely moved towards the greed. Bitcoin has pumped closer to 50k, so all of these things have actually allowed Kaspa to essentially get closer to this all-time high. So while I'm not the kind of guy that tells you to buy at the top, I'm also gonna tell you that if you look at your portfolio 6 months or 1 year from now, let's say that you just buy Kaspa, you put it to cold storage. I do recommend Tangent, which I'm an affiliate, like shameless plug, and the link is down in the description for a 10% off. You forget about it. In 1 year from now, you look for it, and you're like, wow, Kaspa is $1. I made almost a 10x already. Duh. Of course, if you're following my channel, you're probably looking for the best entry possible. Maybe you do some TA, you follow some TA analysts on the side. Maybe you're in my Patreon, you follow my buy alerts. But at the end of the day, if you're just playing for the long run, you're still gonna be a winner no matter what. I'm a bit more of a perfectionist. I do this literally for a living. So of course, I'm gonna look for the best entry. And I was heavily accumulating Kaspa down here and buying more down here for that matter. But if you missed it, I would not hesitate. However, if you're looking for the best profits in the very short term, then there is probably better options to consider. You guys know how I feel about Kaspa. This is not just a utility or outlook of what the project is. I have, I think, like 30 videos at this point in which I discuss Kaspa. I just did a live stream Kaspa Silver in which we went into the utility and all the frequently asked questions about Kaspa for literally 1 hour straight. So I would invite you to look for that. But essentially, as if I was to make a summary for somebody that doesn't know anything about Kaspa, it's the trilemma solver. Okay, it's one of the only few cryptos that solve the crypto trilemma of decentralization, scalability, and security. It's seen as digital currency, digital silver, the replacement in that sense for digital gold of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin became digital gold. Kaspa, digital currency, silver, which is super fast, super cheap to transact, no pre-mining, no allocation to the team, completely fair launch. Okay, it started from 0 and then it started growing very organically. So a lot of things that really make you think that Kaspa is one of the best crypto investments that you can make for the upcoming bull run. And I'm super bullish on it, and it's actually one of my top crypto holdings for my portfolio right now. Everybody saw this coming. The other ones, you probably don't see them coming. And by the way, I'm gonna tell you which one I hold for full transparency and which one I don't hold. Say is a project that I don't personally hold. I have absolutely no interest in discussing this crypto, literally. Say is 1.6 billion in market cap. So we can see that the graph is actually not that different from the one of Kaspa. Some people would argue that this has more potential gains, given that the market cap is almost half the one of Kaspa. And there's also a very big difference with Kaspa. You need to consider Kaspa as sort of a retail coin, which can be an advantage, can be a drawback, and Say as an institution coin. Kaspa don't have a big institution appeal, which could hurt Kaspa, perhaps, or could be actually in favor of Kaspa. Say has a big institutional appeal. This is not fair launch. This was actually 50% in allocation to institution and team, etc., and 50% to the public. Around 50-50. However, there's a thing that you need to consider. Those people are not going to dump on you until Q2 2025. Meaning that if you hold now and look into sell in Q1 or Q2 2025 before we have the token unlocks of the big investors, you still can make a ton of returns out of Say. Do I think that this has like 50x potential? Hell no, I don't, because the market cap is still quite high. It's 1.6 billion. It's still a very high market cap. However, Say still has a lot of potential. I do think that this could be an easy 10 to 20x range. This is a layer 1, which is super fast, 380 milliseconds per finality, 20,000 orders per second. That is big. And this is very different from Kaspa also because some people will call Kaspa a ghost chain, and I wouldn't disagree because Kaspa is a digital currency. Kaspa is not a platform that, at least for the moment, is looking to replace Ethereum. Maybe in the future when they're going to implement smart contracts, etc. But for the moment, it's really not. But Say, on the other hand, solves a lot of problems when it comes to the exchange of digital assets. And here's just a few examples. This is also looking to solve the decentralization, scalability, and efficiency trilemma, which is also, I find, very interesting. There's an entire ecosystem. There is big partnerships, big institutions, notable mention Coinbase, Delphi Digital, Layer Zero, big names right here. Super secure, super fast, etc. We can see the comparison with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. We can see that just the comparison in terms of speed is pretty much paralleled. A lot of dApps that are going to be built on here. And you can actually explore right here in the ecosystem page all the things that are being built. This is insane, guys. There's so many projects in any sort of sphere that are going to be built on here. From gaming to RWA, NFT projects, a lot of stuff. So in my opinion, Say definitely has a lot of potential. I also made a video comparing Say and why I think that this would be some kind of like a replacement for Solana. Solana is for sure another project that I would assume to have a big run, but the fact that Solana does a 10x is not taken for granted because probably, if you want to be realistic, it would be something between a 5 to 7x. You can be optimistic and say that Solana is going to do a 10x from here, and I wouldn't disagree that much. But you want to go into the newer projects like Say, because this hasn't gone through a bull run before. It has a lot more pumping potential. Another disadvantage comparing to Kaspa is that this is already listed on Binance and Coinbase. So Kraken, all of these tier 1 exchanges, most of them are here. So you're not going to have the catalyst event. So that's definitely an advantage to Kaspa. But you also need to consider the fact that a lot of institutions are going to pour money into this. So, you know, both have advantages and disadvantages. And by the way, this is not a comparison video between Say and Kaspa, but I definitely just want to make sure that you guys understand the main points that I'm referring to right here. So if we compare Say with the market cap of Solana, even now it will be a 27x. And with the total overall all-time high of Solana, a 46x from here. Is this possible? I think that it's quite unlikely that we're going to see this number, but anything is possible for that matter. If I would say that my most optimistic prediction would be a 30x, but that is also very hard to happen. Probably 10 to 20x realistic, which would definitely have Say be on this list today. By the way, these are not in any particular order other than Kaspa, but the next project is Tensor Tau. Tensor Tau is another fantastic project. I wish that I gotten into Tensor Tau when it was this small in market cap, because this has been pumping like crazy. Has gone through like another run recently, and honestly, I don't hold this. 3.4 billion. So the market cap is very similar to Kaspa. This is another project that is another layer 1. Are all these projects layer 1, by the way? Funny enough, all these projects are layer 1, so it says something, and that was not made on purpose, guys, by the way. So this is already listed on some exchanges, but the tier 1 exchanges are still not there, which is definitely a good thing. It's listed on KuCoin, Maxi, Gate.io, so the big exchanges are still not there. What do you expect for something that is 3.4 billion in market cap? A project that is very hard to understand, and I'm not going to try to explain it to you because the fundamental and the technical details about this project seems a bit for literally rocket scientists. It's an AI layer 1 project. The circulating supply is emitted through mining because, of course, it's proof of work, but it's also blended with AI to make this a little smarter, a little more efficient when it comes to energy consumption. It's very hard to understand, so I'm not going to go through the white paper. You probably won't understand it unless you are a computer scientist or a developer and you really know these things in detail. So I'm not going to waste my time, to be completely honest. But I'm just going to tell you guys that this is pretty much an all-time high, so I would discourage buying this right now. But of course, nothing that I'm talking about in this video is to be treated as financial advice. I'm just a dude on the internet telling you what he thinks about crypto investing. And I'm going to say that I would not buy this all-time high. Probably from this all-time high, we still have a 10 to 15x potential. If we were to go between the 400 to 450 range, I will probably accumulate a little bit, but I would definitely have it cool off a minute before considering this. Yes, the circulating supply is around 30%, which is not the best for a layer 1, but if you also consider the time of, of the peak of the bull run, how much circulating supply we're going to have at that point, it's nothing crazy. It's not something that would put me off when it comes to dilution. This is not a gaming project. This is a layer 1 project at the end of the day. Very good project. I would just hesitate in buying right now. And also, I'm surprised that the volume to market cap is very small. It's only 0.78%. But hey, maybe a lot of the people that have bought are really not taking profits because they realize what gem they have in their hands. Now, the first project on this list, I don't hold this either. But I would definitely be looking into getting some. Unfortunately, this is also close to the all-time high, so it's not something that I would recommend buying today. Again, if you're just looking for a 10x, I'm sure that this is going to do more than a 10x, even buying from here. But we want to be as optimal as possible. I'm not going to tell you to buy right now, but I wouldn't tell you to buy regardless. So whatever, who cares? The Lithium, this is another layer 1 project, is comparable to Kaspa in some sort of ways because it still aims to solve the trilemma. And it's not listed on major exchanges. The team is doxed. The project is very solid. You'll see right here, one of the flags, maybe, is that the circulating supply is 7%. And you're like, whoa, this is so little for a layer 1 project. However, if you actually look into the white paper, you will see that it's going to take another 70 years. I repeat, 70, okay? Not 7, not 17, 70 years to actually have all of the circulating supply in circulation. I hope that you guys want to take your profits, maybe sell your entire allocation next year at the peak of the bull run and take a lot of profits, a lot of money, create generational wealth. We're probably going to have like 1% or more of circulating supply on top of this. That is not that big of a deal. Dilution of this project is not something that you should be aware. Now, the token is listed on very few exchanges. Maxi and Gate and Bitmart when it comes to centralized exchanges, and CoinEx, but it sucks. Nobody uses that. Uniswap when it comes to decentralized exchanges, still got a lot of room for growth. And I do think that this is probably the one that is gonna pump the most out of this list because I've just realized that out of the projects that I'm mentioning today, this is the only one that is below the 1 billion in market cap. Okay, it's 167 million in market cap. So you could call it maybe a medium-sized cap. In my definition, the one that I use, I do consider a small cap below the 100 million, mid cap within, let's say, 100 to 500 million, and above that, a high cap. But again, that's me, so don't take it as gospel. Everybody will have different definitions. This is huge. This is huge. The only difference that I want to make from something like Kaspa, let's say, is that this has a pre-mine supply. So I think we started with something like 5% of the supply, something like that was pre-mined, allocated to the team, etc. However, a lot of people have already dumped at release. They've already taken their profit. So this is a project that has like very minimal risk of dumping. The allocations are very good. There's nothing disproportionate. In my opinion, this is as close to Kaspa as it gets when it comes to this list. Is another layer one that is very efficient, very fast, and in my opinion, is going to melt faces. This project is really unspoken. Barely anyone is spoken about this, in my opinion. So a lot of potential, but again, this is all-time high, so take it with a pinch of salt. And the last project that I'm going to touch today is Injective. I don't know if you guys were seeing this coming, but Injective is a project that I was buying at $1 or right below $1, I think somewhere around here. And I made a lot of profit. I sold, I think, when I reached a 20x in full bear market. This was one of my biggest profits actually during the last bear market in the last year. This is already listed on Binance, Coinbase, so you're not going to have a crazy catalyst event. This is already 3 billion in market cap. It's considered the fastest layer one right now. It's built for finance. This is how they're actually marketing it. And when it comes to actually the time of this, 0.8 seconds block time, crazy amount of numbers. This is some of the best backing in the sphere. Binance, Pantera Capital, Jump, Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks. We have so many things that are built on this. I think that the main one is Helix, which is essentially a decentralized exchange, which is gas-free. I personally have never had the chance of using it. But anyway, I digress. What I want to say is that there's so much that is built on here. It's built and aimed specifically to DeFi, okay, decentralized finance. This is the project on this list that is most loved by institutions. Probably Say comes close. Again, I made my big chunk of profits and I want to invest now in projects that they're going to enable me to actually achieve bigger multipliers. And because of this, I'm essentially not going to hold this project. However, if somebody was still looking to make something like a 10x, I think that 10x is definitely feasible from this level. Probably 10x or short of just shy of 15x. I don't think that we're even going to go towards the 20x territory. I've heard people say that this is still a 50x, and I'm like, shut up, because this is just not possible. Regardless, this is a fantastic project, a fantastic ecosystem. It's loved by institution. This is also still very close to the all-time high, so it's probably the one that I would, and especially given the level of market cap, this is probably the one that I would recommend the least. But regardless, this is a great project and definitely deserves a mention of today's list. Now, this is pretty much it for this video. I hope that you took some value out of it. As you guys know, the place to be is my Patreon, because I'm bringing gems literally on a daily basis. If you want to make those multiple 100x's, you want to get in before I bring these projects to the YouTube live streams and videos, you want to get in now. And also, just not for my buy and sell signals, but also for the fact that I'm building the best community, the strongest community in crypto right now. Try it for yourself. If you don't like it, you can just do 1 month and leave. Honestly, there's no commitment. I think that you're actually gonna be blown away. And also Patreon live streams, TA, exclusive gems reviews, ton of exclusive contents, portfolio review, educational videos. There's courses that are updated every single week with new content, and they're all included with your Patreon membership. I'm never going to charge you extra for my educational video and courses, even on the process that I use to find new gems. So I hope to see you there and help you out with your crypto investing journey. And as always, take care for now.